There are several options for installing a capacitor on a 1400 amp 3-phase service when there is no switchgear. The first option is to install a capacitor on each main circuit breaker. In this scenario, a capacitor with a rating appropriate for the kilovolt ampere reactive requirements is installed on both the 800 amp and 600 amp main circuit breakers. Each capacitor corrects the power factor for its respective circuit. The second option involves installing a single capacitor on the service entrance meter base. In this case, a capacitor with a rating appropriate for the combined kilovolt ampere reactive requirements of the 800 amp and 600 amp circuits is installed. The capacitor is connected to the line side of the service entrance meter base. This option offers a single point of correction for the entire service. The third option is to install a capacitor on the secondary side of a dry-type transformer. In this configuration, a dry-type transformer is installed with a rating matching the service voltage and a secondary voltage that accommodates the capacitor voltage. The capacitor is connected to the secondary side of the transformer. This option allows for using a lower voltage capacitor, reducing its physical size. Regarding code requirements, the capacitor must be rated for the appropriate voltage and kilovolt amperes reactive. The capacitor must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and all applicable electrical codes. The capacitor must be fused to protect it from overcurrent. The power factor should be corrected to a target value specified by the utility provider or industry standards. The recommended option is to install a single capacitor on the service entrance meter base, as it is a simple and effective method for correcting the power factor on this type of service. It provides a central point of correction and eliminates the need for multiple capacitors on each main circuit breaker. When choosing a capacitor, verify that the voltage rating is suitable for the application. For example, a 480 volt system requires a capacitor with a voltage rating of at least 480 volts. Also, be sure to consider the system's harmonic content, which may necessitate using a capacitor designed for harmonic filtering. When installing the capacitor, adhere to all local and national electrical codes, such as those outlined in the National Electrical Code. Ensure the capacitor is properly grounded to prevent electrical hazards. All connections must be torqued to the manufacturer's specifications. If installing a capacitor bank, make sure that all the capacitors are the same microfarad rating so that they have the same impedance to equally share the current. The kilovolt ampere reactive rating of the capacitor should be determined by performing a power factor correction study. This study will determine the required kilovolt ampere reactive to achieve the desired power factor. Consider future load growth when sizing the capacitor. It's better to slightly oversize the capacitor than to undersize it. If the power factor is overcorrected, it can lead to voltage rise and other problems. Capacitors typically have bleeder resistors that discharge the capacitor when it is de-energized. These resistors ensure that the capacitor is safe to handle after being disconnected from the power source. The capacitors should be protected by fuses or circuit breakers. These protective devices should be sized appropriately to protect the capacitor from overcurrents. Regular maintenance should be performed on the capacitors, including visual inspections and testing. This maintenance will help ensure that the capacitors are operating properly and safely. Before working on any electrical equipment, always de-energize the circuit and verify that it is de-energized with a meter. Lockout and tag-out procedures should always be followed. Capacitors can improve power quality by reducing voltage drops and improving voltage stability. Poor power quality can damage equipment and reduce its lifespan. The cost of power factor correction can be offset by reduced energy costs and improved equipment performance. Some utilities offer incentives for customers who implement power factor correction measures. Capacitors can reduce the amount of reactive power that the utility must supply. Reactive power does not perform any useful work, but it does contribute to losses in the electrical system. There are two main types of capacitors: fixed capacitors and automatic capacitors. Fixed capacitors provide a fixed amount of reactive power compensation. Automatic capacitors adjust the amount of reactive power compensation based on the load requirement. When selecting a capacitor, consider the ambient temperature. Capacitors are typically rated for a maximum ambient temperature. If the ambient temperature exceeds this rating, the capacitor's lifespan will be reduced. Consider the altitude when selecting a capacitor. Capacitors are typically rated for a maximum altitude. If the altitude exceeds this rating, the capacitor's performance will be affected. When installing a capacitor, ensure that it is properly ventilated. This ventilation will help to prevent the capacitor from overheating. Use a reputable manufacturer's products and follow their installation instructions. When connecting the capacitor, make sure that the connections are tight and secure. Loose connections can cause overheating and failure. After installing the capacitor, verify that the power factor has been corrected to the desired level. This verification can be done with a power quality analyzer. Capacitors can be used in a variety of applications, including industrial plants, commercial buildings, and residential homes. They are commonly used to improve the power factor of motors, lighting systems, and other electrical equipment. In motor applications, capacitors are often connected directly to the motor terminals. This connection helps to reduce the amount of reactive power that the motor draws from the power system. In lighting applications, capacitors are often used to improve the power factor of fluorescent and high-intensity discharge lamps. These lamps typically have a low power factor, which can cause problems with the power system. When using capacitors, it is important to understand the potential hazards. Capacitors can store a significant amount of energy even after they have been disconnected from the power source. This energy can be released suddenly, causing an electrical shock. Always discharge capacitors before handling them. To discharge a capacitor, use a resistor of the appropriate size. The resistor will slowly bleed off the stored energy. Never short-circuit a capacitor to discharge it. Short-circuiting can damage the capacitor and create a fire hazard. When working with capacitors, wear appropriate personal protective equipment, including safety glasses and gloves. If you are not comfortable working with electrical equipment, hire a qualified electrician to install and maintain your capacitors. Regularly inspect the capacitors for signs of damage, such as bulging, leaking, or discoloration. If you find any damage, replace the capacitor immediately. Capacitors can fail due to a variety of factors, including overvoltage, overcurrent, and high temperature. When a capacitor fails, it can release a large amount of energy, causing an explosion or fire. For safety reasons, it's crucial to handle capacitors with care and follow all safety precautions. Select capacitors that are specifically designed for power factor correction applications. These capacitors are designed to withstand the stresses of power system operation. Avoid using capacitors that are intended for other applications, such as electronic circuits. These capacitors may not be able to withstand the voltage and current levels in a power system. Use a capacitor with a metal enclosure. The metal enclosure will help to contain the capacitor in the event of a failure. Ground the capacitor enclosure to provide a path for fault current. This grounding will help to prevent electrical shock hazards. Locate the capacitor in a well-ventilated area. Good ventilation will help to keep the capacitor cool and prevent it from overheating. Provide adequate clearance around the capacitor. This clearance will allow for easy access for maintenance and inspection. Post warning signs near the capacitor. The warning signs should warn people about the potential hazards of working with capacitors. Train personnel on the proper procedures for working with capacitors. This training will help to ensure that capacitors are operated and maintained safely. In addition to the above, consider the following. First, conduct a thorough site assessment. This assessment should include a review of the existing electrical system, the load characteristics, and the power quality. Secondly, develop a detailed design for the power factor correction system. This design should include the location of the capacitors, the size of the capacitors, and the protective devices. Thirdly, obtain all necessary permits and approvals. This may include permits from the local building department and the utility company. Fourthly, install the power factor correction system according to the design. This installation should be performed by qualified electricians. Fifthly, test and commission the power factor correction system. This testing should verify that the system is operating properly and that the power factor has been corrected to the desired level. Sixthly, maintain the power factor correction system regularly. This maintenance should include visual inspections, testing, and cleaning. Also consider the life cycle cost. Evaluate the total cost of ownership, including the initial investment, operating costs, and maintenance costs. Sometimes active harmonic filters can be used in conjunction with capacitors to reduce harmonic distortion. Harmonics can negatively impact power quality and equipment performance. Consider the impact of power factor correction on the utility grid. Overcorrection can cause voltage rise and other problems. Coordinate the power factor correction system with the utility company. Consider future expansion. Design the power factor correction system to accommodate future load growth. The capacitor impedance should be coordinated with the source impedance to avoid resonance issues. Resonance can amplify harmonic currents and voltages, leading to equipment damage. Use detuned reactors in series with capacitors to prevent resonance. Detuned reactors shift the resonant frequency away from the harmonic frequencies. Consider the use of smart capacitors. Smart capacitors can automatically adjust their kV-ampere reactive output to optimize power factor correction. This is particularly helpful in systems with fluctuating loads. Use a power quality meter to monitor the power factor and harmonic levels. This monitoring will help to ensure that the power factor correction system is operating properly and that the power quality is within acceptable limits. The location in northern Illinois may experience varying ambient temperatures throughout the year, so temperature variations need to be considered. The utility provider's specific power factor requirements and any applicable incentives should be checked. Always consult with a qualified electrical engineer to determine the best power factor correction solution for your specific application. An engineer can perform a power system study and recommend the appropriate size and type of capacitors. It is often best to have the engineer perform a power system study.